Hello, I'm Jo, finally doing it. Finally doing the video that I've been saying I've been going to do for a long time. I'll just go straight in and tell you who I am. So I'm Jo, in the East Midlands in the UK, and I'm diagnosed with a borderline personality disorder and bipolar 2. So, bit of a handful, I can be at times. What I wanted to do is do this video. It's taken me absolutely ages to get to this place where I feel comfortable, that I can do it, that I can share my story. I see lots of videos online, I see lots of brave young girls on there, and they've got makeup on and their nails are done, and they've got lovely clothes on and their hair's all nice, and I'm sitting here and my nails are all scrubby and I haven't done my makeup and my hair's going grey and I haven't put my best dress on or anything like that. But it's real, this is me, so this is who I am, and I feel that I wear a mask a lot of the time anyway. I never let people know who I really am, so putting more makeup on and putting another mask on, and it emphasises, or doesn't emphasise enough, what's going on the inside of what's going on the outside, because people get this perception that you're actually okay. So how did I get to where I am today? Well, it's been a long journey. I've had a couple of breakdowns. So on my first breakdown I was working for a call centre. I was working in a call centre, and the pressures of the job was just absolutely horrendous. I remember driving up to work one day and I physically couldn't get out of the car. It's not that I couldn't open the doors, or I couldn't move. Something inside me just wouldn't let me get out of the car, and I've still never really to this day been able to explain that. I'm just going to take my car, it's really hot in here. And probably a bit nervous as well. But yeah, so I couldn't get out of the car, so I never went into work. I just drove home, came home and cried and cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. And I said to my husband, I can't explain what's going on. He said, well, we'll go to the doctors tomorrow, we'll go to the doctors. So we went to the doctors, and that's when I got diagnosed with anxiety and depression. And I was put on antidepressants, I was put on, I can't remember what I was put on first, but anyway, I eventually got put onto mirtazapine, which was brilliant, but it bloats you up, the weight, I gained so much weight with it, I wasn't happy on it, but I felt a little bit better in myself. I'm not going to say I felt a lot better, I felt a little bit better in myself. I always knew that there was something else missing, that there was something else that hadn't been picked up, something else that was going on, that the medication and what they were talking about, I'd read about depression and anxiety, and as severe as they are, I knew there was something more. I was experiencing so much more than what was diagnosed. But how can I tell people? How can you tell people that you hear voices? How can you tell people that you see things? How can you tell people you have conversations in your head with people that you are not sure who are, whether it is you, whether it is somebody else? How do you do that? So I got a mental health nurse, and I've bonded with her anyway. I mean, my GPs have always been supportive, but I got this mental health nurse, and she was, no, you're not being very good to Jo, because Steve used to come to the appointments. Steve is my husband, you'll hear a lot about him. Steve used to come to the appointments with me, and this is the mental health telling him that he's actually facilitating my mental health illness. He's actually facilitating it. He should make me go to the shop. He should make me go out on my own. He should encourage me, not make me. She never said make. He should encourage me to go out on my own, encourage me to do this, encourage me to do that. And Steve was doing all this. He was doing all this encouraging. Let's go here, let's go there, let's go and see your mum. Even going to my mum's. Nothing felt right, nothing. I couldn't do anything on my own, and I still struggle to do stuff on my own now. But the journey is different, and I'm in a different place now. But something wasn't right. It wasn't anxiety and depression. Something else was wrong. How could I then go into this surgery and say, everything I've just told you is right, but what I haven't told you is I have this, and I have this, and I have this, and I have this. After I've sat in there for so many appointments actually saying, oh, I'm fine, I'm managing, I'm doing all this, because who wants to admit it? So, for years, it was for about 6 years, I carried on with anxiety and depression, and taking the mirtazapine, and then I went into a little bit of a mania, which I know now was mania. I didn't realise at the time whether it was a little bit of a mania or a lot of a mania, but it was mania. I set up my own business. I was, if I say so myself, very good at making cakes and decorating them. I used to do fondant, but I set my own business up, and I did get quite successful where I was gaining orders, but I wasn't making any money, so it got a bit stressful. But I was like taking everything on. I wanted to please everybody. I got a bad review, which nobody likes a bad review anyway, but it hit me hard. And then just everything started to not feel right. I loved baking cakes, but I'd stand in the kitchen and I'd get the gut feeling. I'd have to come outside and get some fresh air, or I'd say, I can't do this, Steve, you need to help me. I can't do my job, I can't deliver the cakes. How am I going to get the cakes to where I need them to go if I can't go on my own? I was starting to get afraid to go out of the house again. The symptoms and the feelings that I'd had before, I knew it was all going too fast, and it was all building up, and how do you get out of these feelings? Who am I going to tell? I know now I'm in this position. I need to tell somebody now, because I'm looking around everywhere and nobody can help me, because nobody can actually see what's actually going on in here. Nobody can actually see the turmoil that I'm actually going through, the turmoil that I'm going through, and again the turmoil that I'm going through. And so it's rushing all through your body. In the end, I just had to say, I can't do it. I can't do it. We went on holiday, we went to Turkey. It gave me a lot of time to sit and review myself and have time to think. Nobody knew exactly what I was thinking about. I was laying there sunbathing, lapping up the sun. This was, of course, when we could go on holiday. But yeah, and all I kept thinking about when I was on this holiday is, I've got my tax return to do, I've got my tax return to do, I've got my tax return to do. Your tax return is taking over your holiday. I've got orders, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. And it made me sit down and think that, stop, just stop. Because you need to talk to people, you need to tell somebody what's going on. You need to tell somebody that this is not right. I don't know if does everybody do this? Does everybody talk to somebody else? Does everybody hallucinate? Does everybody hear voices? Have the conversations with the voices? I don't know, because as far as I'm concerned, I look normal, look okay. I'm not sitting here chatting to myself. I am chatting to myself because I'm chatting to you, but I'm not. I'm chatting to you, not to myself. So that's okay, I think. But I'm not sitting here in a room on my own having a conversation, because that's what sometimes happens. It's almost like there's two people in the room. So you're sitting there having a conversation. What shall we have for dinner tonight? Oh, what do you think we should have for dinner tonight? Well, I don't know. You've got to fucking cook it. Sorry, swearing. You've got to cook it. I'm not going to cook it. You've got to cook it, but I don't feel like cooking. I'm going to sit here depressed. I'm going to sit here all happy. It's just, that's a silly conversation, and it doesn't actually go like that. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Of course I can't think of one off the top of my head. But it's that scenario, and I needed to tell somebody that scenario was happening. So it all kicked off in September 2019. And I'm not going to go into personal details, but something happened between me and my husband, and I kicked him out. It didn't warrant kicking him out at all. But it was then that I realised I needed help. I needed a little bit more help than just going to the GP and getting an antidepressant. I needed a little bit more help, because this was getting severe now. I was jealous, I was angry, I was throwing things, the rage inside me was just wanting to flow out all the time. I was in what I now know is mania and depression, where I was going in and out, in and out, in and out. I was shaking, I was full of anxiety. I'm not going to say none of this happens now, but at the time it was just so intense, and I hadn't got a clue what it was. And then somebody said, bipolar. You sound bipolar. Me? Bipolar? No. That's a real severe mental illness, and I haven't got a real severe mental illness because I've got anxiety and depression. That's enough. Then I sat and thought to myself, but that's not enough, is it? Because you know that you have got more than anxiety and depression. So I started to read about bipolar, and it scared me. It scared me a lot. It scared me to think how much I actually sounded like these people, these blogs, these people that I was seeing online. You who may be watching it now, you've made a video, I've maybe watched you. It was scary. I didn't want to be mentally ill. I'm normal, I'm Jo, I'm a mum, I'm 45. I've got 2 children, I've got a house, I've got a mortgage. I look after my dad. I did look after my dad. My dad passed away, but we'll talk about that another day. But I had everything going for me. I can't have a mental illness, not this severe. So we talked and we talked and we talked, and we decided then that we'd get a private diagnosis. We'd go, because we looked into NHS, and I'd probably be lucky if I had still not got the diagnosis now, or got the diagnosis now, whichever way round. So we went private. So we booked me an appointment for 4 weeks. In 4 weeks' time, I had this appointment to go to. So I did read, I read and I read and I read, but the more I read about bipolar, the more it didn't fit in. It didn't fit in with everything else that was going on. It didn't fit in with all the emotions. Why do I feel so jealous? Why am I hurting more than everybody else? Why am I loving more than everybody else? Why am I crying more than everybody else? Why am I laughing more than everybody else? Why am I doing everything else more than everybody else? Then I went to the appointment. I was an absolute nervous wreck. Absolute nervous wreck. It was awful. Shaking all the way there. We had to go all the way. It was about an hour drive from here. That's where we had to go to. It was just horrendous. The drive was horrendous. I was sitting there. All I wanted to do was have a cigarette. I was sitting there vaping in the car. And I got to the appointment and I needed the toilet. Great. I don't like going anywhere on my own anyway, let alone in a strange building and having to go to the toilet. So we went in, and it was a funny old place. It was just like a house with a guy waiting in a room with a desk and 2 chairs opposite. And this guy then asked me questions, and I'm having to tell him my personal life, about my sex life, about my self-harm, about my kids, my birth, my childbirth, my whole family, what's even down to having a hysterectomy. I had to tell him everything, absolutely everything. I wanted to know what had happened when I was younger, when I was older, what my parents were like, what my brother was like, what my older brother is like. It was just crazy, and I was having to sit here blurting out to this complete stranger that I never said any of this stuff to. Steve must have sat there shocked out of his face, knowing that his wife self-harms, that she'd never told him. So the marks that he sees on her, that she says are eczema, and she even goes to the doctor and tells the doctor it's eczema to convince everybody else, is actually self-harm. To admit that for the first time to Steve, who I'd been at the time, I'd been with him for 23 years, it hurt me more than it hurt him. It hurts. But he knows. And do you know what? I feel better for him knowing, because he supports me. He knows the signs, he knows this, he knows that, he knows. So that's when I got my diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality disorder? I've got a personality disorder. It's a personality disorder. I've never heard of a personality disorder. What do you mean it's a personality disorder? How can I have a personality disorder? I'm the same person that I was yesterday. No, I'm not. I'm never the same person. Because one day I'll dress like this in frumpy, frilly frocks, and the next day I'll dress all sexy because that's me, and the next day I'll be dressing in joggers. And that's not just everybody dresses like this. I can't just go to my wardrobe and think I'm going to have a lazy day today, because if my mind's not right, and I can't explain, I'm not going to go into detail of that now. I will do a video about how this affects the day-to-day, even wearing of clothes. But if I'm not in the right place, I can't just go and go, right, I'll put that dress on, I'll put those tights on, I'll put those joggers on, I'll put that, because if the face don't fit, the clothes don't fit neither. And it depends what's going on here and in here to what you put on and the persona that you give to people. And that's why today I wanted to be as natural and as normal as possible. So that's why I'm not full of makeup. I've not dyed my hair. I've not even brushed my hair before doing this video. I have got spots. I am normal. This is this morning's makeup that I still got on and probably will still have on when I wake up tomorrow morning, because I want you to see real me. There will be days when I do a video and it's not real me, because I can't help that. I can't help who I am. That's my personality disorder. But where I am now is I'm on, I'll just get them for you, I'm on these. So I've just started those. I've had 4 medication changes. So once I got my diagnosis back in September of 2019, I then had to go and wait for the NHS. We all know what waiting for the NHS is like. Unless, of course, you live in America, then you won't know what the NHS is like. But the NHS has got such a long waiting list that how long's your piece of string? Exactly, it just keeps going and going, a bit like our NHS list. So having the diagnosis was one thing, but getting any medication and help for it was yet still, and still is, another thing. So it was September 2019 when I got my diagnosis, but I didn't actually see a psychiatrist in the NHS until March 2020. So that was quite a long wait of nothing. I mean, I was getting support from the GP and I was getting support from my husband, and we were reading and I was talking more and I was trying so hard, but there were still things that I couldn't understand. And Steve used to say to me, babe, next Christmas will be great, next Christmas will be this, next Christmas will be that. Next Christmas wasn't this, next Christmas wasn't that, but we'll do that story again another day. Lots of stories, and they're all true. Unfortunately, they're all true. But having a mental illness doesn't stop me from living my life, but it does stop me from living my life. It stopped me for 5 months when I got my diagnosis, and until I got help from the NHS, it stopped me living, because I was afraid of doing anything. I was afraid of, if I laugh too much, am I going to laugh too much? If I cry too much, am I going to cry too much? If I hurt too much, am I going to hurt too much? So I stayed numb. Then trying to keep yourself numb for 5 months is difficult. But I did it, and I didn't know what else to do. So I got help from the NHS, and like I say, I got a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist that didn't listen, and I've never been able to go into the psychiatrist's office again, because of obviously the circumstances that we're actually in now, so all my telephone appointments are over the phone, which are very difficult. It's very difficult to express emotion, which is another reason I'm doing this video, because if any of you know me, you'll know that I've got a page on Facebook, The Recovering Borderline. That's me. And I've been doing that page now for over a year, and I love it. I love writing about my mental health. It helps me, and I know that it helps a lot of other people, which is amazing, because if I can help 1, 2, 3, 4 people, or even more absolutely amazing. Just to help you speak out, just to help you know that I look normal. Yeah, but there's all this stuff going on up here. Go and get help, because it helps. It really does help. And I'm going to be here, and you're going to follow me. You're going to hit a subscribe button, wherever it is, when I finally get this done. And you're going to hit likes, yeah. Because apparently this is what you're supposed to say when you do it when you end your video. I'm not going to do this every time, don't worry. But yeah, if I can help you sitting there watching this, reach out to somebody. Reach out and tell somebody how bad it is. And please tell me how you get on. Tell me. Come back to me. Tell me, yes, I went and got help, and yes, it was great. And it doesn't happen overnight. Like I say, I am now nearly 2 years. No, 18 months. Okay, 18 months from having a diagnosis. And a year since I've seen a psychiatrist. I've spoken to them on the phone and we have appointments, but it's a year since. But I'm still doing okay. And I know I've had a lot of med changes, but it's important that we talk. And if you can't talk to a professional, talk to your mate. And if your mate ain't interested, there's plenty of phone lines out there. And write a letter. Just write it down, because if you need to get it out your head, just write it down. And even if nobody's reading it, I don't like if nobody reads it. Put it on Facebook, set a private page up, put it in a drawer, give it to somebody, post it to somebody, will read it. I'm really lucky in the fact that I've been successful on my Facebook page, and I've had some brilliant people following me, and some brilliant and supportive people, and I've got a great supportive family. But I know everybody's not got that. Not everybody has got a fantastic husband and 2 amazing children that actually put up with a psychotic woman and living with them. But they accept me, and yeah, they take the mickey, and yeah, they drive them mad when I'm either down or up, or sometimes in between. But they support me, and without them, I wouldn't be here now. So, my ending note to you is, it's worth it. Talk. Let's talk. And I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.